So conditional statements are a part of absolutely every programming language. It's a central concept to computers. A computer is presented with a decision to go one direction or the other based on some data that it is given. So you could think of it a little bit like a fork in the road. This is a simplified version, but it's a pretty good explanation. And when the computer arrives there, it's given some data, and if that data is true, it's going to take one fork, and if that data is false, it's going to take the other fork. And it exists in every language. Here's an example of a conditional statement in JavaScript and another one in Python. And here's one in C++. I don't know if you'll notice a common word you see in all of those. And finally, we're going to be working in Scratch, so this is how it looks in Scratch. So generally, a good rule of thumb is almost all conditionals that I've ever seen start with the word if. Here it is in JavaScript, Python, and C++. Sometimes it will also contain the word then. In the case of Scratch, it does. It doesn't in JavaScript or any of those other languages I showed. It used to in BASIC and other languages, but then is still existent in Scratch. And oftentimes you will see the word else, which is the option of if the statement is false, which we will explain in a moment. There it is in Scratch. So oftentimes conditionals are not called conditionals, we just refer to them as if statements. Let's look at an example, a specific example. You're trying to find out if you can go see the movie Avatar, which is rated PG-13. So in Scratch would ask you how old you are and wait for your input answer. And depending on your response, here it is at its fork in the road. If the answer is under 13, it will give you the answer, no way, else, which means if there's any other answer, in other words, if you are 13 or above, it would say, yes, sure, you can go. This is how the whole statement would look with Scratch blocks. So we're going to take a look at conditionals in the context of our own exercises and Scratch. And in this case, we're also introducing portals. So our chick needs to get to the corn, but in order to do that, this time he's going to have to go through a portal. In our exercises, the portal entrances have numbers and green arrows, and the portal exits have letters and blue arrows. So our chick is going to go through portal entry 1 and then randomly come out of either A or B. So what he does after that is dependent on which door he comes out of. So let's just take a look at this. And first, we know that we want our chick to go to the portal entrance. That's pretty simple. So we're going to go to horizontal block 1, 2, change this to a 2. Let's just see what happens when we run that. So that time he came out of portal exit A. I'm going to hit my space bar and reset it and run it again. And that time he came out of B. Now it is random. It doesn't just alternate back and forth. See, there it came out of B a second time. So we need to now give the chick instructions on what to do depending on the door. I like to just say it in English. So if the chick comes out of portal exit A, he should go up 3. If the chick comes out of portal exit B, he should go to the right 5. That's pretty much it, and it lets me, that we call that pseudocode. I can now go and make it actual code. So I'm going to go to the controls, which is this orange, which are orange colored, and there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to start out with just 2 simple if statements. So I'm going to say if, and this will be for if the portal exit is A, and I'm going to bring out the other option if the portal exit is B. So in order to sense which one it is, to sense it, we're going to go to our sensors, which are light blue. The top one senses names of objects in the stage. So if I go drag this in, I can pull this down and change it to portal exit A. If touching portal exit A, then he should do vertical 3. And if I'm touching portal exit B, he should do horizontal 5. And I need my check success. So let's run that 3 times. Okay, that one works. Reset. Oh, came out of A again. Let's see if we can get it to come out of B. There we go. All right, great success. We know we're done. But let's just take a look at this. There's a couple of other ways to approach this. I'm going to look at one other for now, which is we know that there are only 2 options, A or B. So we could do it with 2 if statements, but we could also use what we call an if then else. So what if then else means, in this particular case especially, is if he's touching portal exit A, then he will do whatever is underneath this block, underneath inside this area. Otherwise, in other words, if he's not touching. So what the else means is if this thing above it is not true. In all other cases other than this one, it should do this. In this case, there's only one other option, which is portal exit B. So what I'll do is, if it's portal exit A, I'm going to do a vertical block 3 and change this to 3. And horizontal block 5, and then my check success. So let's try that. Reset. And a third time. Excellent. So that's an introduction to using conditional statements. There are many other uses for them, but that will suffice to get us started in this world.